All right, and welcome back. Today, we're going to be going over my current living room setup and the upgrades that I plan to do to it because right now, it does not have the wife approval factor and I don't want to keep looking at it. So, in my endeavor to make my living room a lot more clean, we're going to be moving my current router into a server case and then mounting that server case onto an IKEA lac table. I got the inspiration, as in I'm copying this idea from Linus Tech Tips, as they recently uploaded a video of them doing it. And there's a lac rack project that I've actually followed for a couple years, and I figured it'd be worth trying out. All right, now that we're on the floor, I can precisely show you what I'm doing. This is the machine that I'm going to be moving into a server case, and then I'll actually be trying to put it here in between where my normal paper printer goes and underneath my 3D printer. And hopefully it'll save some space. I bought a 2U case, so I think it'll be fine. I can show the part number specifically, but it should just be a normal 2U Roswell case. Roswell? Oh! So and I can get rid of this ugly box. This has been sitting in my living room for like weeks. Let's see. Oh man, it does not fit. Oh. Man, it's just right there. It could basically just sit on top of this printer. But it looks like my dream's not happening. How much over? Like, that is so little. That is so insignificant. Wait, I wonder if it's because this is bulging. Is this bulging? It seems like it's bulging. Also, it looks like it's a bad idea because of the power supply. I mean, there it fits. Honestly, I might not even need to like mount it. I mean, I should, but like, with how tight of a clearance that is kind of insane. Theoretically, if I can print another copy of these feet, maybe even the shorter ones, and put them here, this case and this printer can fit in the same cavity, which is amazing. And it doesn't want to focus on my face for a reason. There we go. So, I think that's my game plan right now, is to make some more feet and raise this guy. I don't know what I'm going to do with the Ender 5 yet, because that thing's huge, and I don't know what to do with it. It's useful to have, but like, it takes up so much space. But yeah, I can turn this into something not ugly-ish, so we'll see. Yes, so we did stuff, and I did not have time to film it. So I'm going to briefly go over the things I did, because it was a lot of work to cover up for my mistake. Looking at this, it is hard to tell, but yeah, I used black. But basically, this motherboard is in at 90 degrees. So basically, it normally fits this way because it's a micro ATX case. So I had to turn it to fit an ATX board in there. And I did get this to work. It is somewhat stable in there. What I did is I took the standoffs and I 3D printed like adapter brackets that are like enough length to move over to the next one or the closest screw. It's kind of hard to see if you look at this one. I can throw up the STL on the screen, but basically it just goes over here and then it ties the two together. I did this one because this was my reference corner, and then I did another one, this one, that's underneath. So that gives me 3 points of contact and should relatively keep the board stable. This is tipping, this is on its edge, that's why it's moving. But relatively the board is stable. What I also had to do is make an adapter stand for this PCIe bracket. So I did that. I can throw that on screen as well so it's easier to see. So maybe we'll get my Ethernet cables in here because this is just a router. As I was saying, once we're done here, I can mount it to the table, and then we should have a fully functioning server rack experience. And then hopefully I will try to redo the legs later. I just don't have a table saw right now, and that'll have to wait. So that'll be upgrades that I'll have to do. So I guess I just wear it up and then just dive right in. So the thing is, these are lined up. You know, a smart man would pre-drill a hole. Oh, I can't even get the drill up there if I wanted. We might just have to send it. Okay then, I guess we're sending it. Might be able to get this one up there. Because the thing with these lac tables is that all the solid woodedness is all up in the front. Nope. I have a mark though, so that might be helpful. I really should have grabbed 2 batteries. If it's swapping between the one. A smart man would take the... Cool. Nice. Now I just need to get the other one in there that is not load bearing. Cool, that is probably as load bearing as it's going to get. Two, three, four, five. Two, three, four, five. Yo, that's slick. Ah, this thing sucks. That's okay. Alright, recording on the phone because the camera's unreliable. But man, look at this. It's so slick. There's only one of the screws in on each side. But it's so nice. Look at that. So, very nice. Need to keep chugging away at this. Alright, hello. This is an update related to this. Yeah, it started making some noise after I mounted it. Apparently, the computer was not happy being mounted this way, and the power supply fan was literally screaming. and that was because it was mounted upside down, which I hope was not a problem. But in this case, pun intended, uh, it was not happy one bit. So I have to order an adapter to get the 24 pin cable longer, or an extension, as you call it. So that'll be here in 2 days, and then I'll follow up then. So it is fine. I'm using my phone to record because using my old camera is not fun because you can't get good audio because it doesn't have a 3.5 millimeter jack. So I'm just going to record with this, and I'm using my TV as an external monitor. So we'll see how good it looks. But yes, I now got the cables and stuff. So basically, all I needed was a 24 pin extension, maybe not this long. And then I also bought two fan splitters, so that way I can use both fans in the front versus just one. So I will get that installed right now. And then my fans are going to become big. And that should be everything I need to do to this. Now, bad luck to put the case on the side, but it does work. I just don't know how well it works. But that's just the risk I'm willing to take. Right? All right. So the gap is here intentionally. Yes, I can screw up the bottom one to make it more flush. The gap is here intentionally so it doesn't cook itself. I didn't turn it on. Done. That's loud. I think it's resonating with the case. Yeah, it sounds so loud. And that's just the power supply fan. It's as if it can't like cool itself down. Which it might not be able to. But I think at this point I can't do too much about it. All right, so in an effort to wrap up this project, I ran into a slight issue with mounting my router. That issue was the fact that it made a lot of noise, like enough to annoy me, and I'm hard of hearing. So, in an effort to combat that, I can either replace the power supply, replace the fan in the power supply, or a separate option. And since I do not feel like hurting myself by opening up a power supply or spending money to buy a new one, I decided to create a solution that has actually been working decently well for the past 2 weeks. And it's literally taking an old fan, and this is crazy, just cutting it open, mounting it to a 5-volt power supply for my old phone, and just setting it on top of the exhaust so it moves the air faster than the normal fan, and it kind of gets rid of the normal turbulence that's on that. So it's a lot quieter overall, and doesn't necessarily bother me because it doesn't stick out. Is it the best solution? No. Is it the easiest one that I could do within like 10 minutes of work? Yes. And I'm going to keep it that way for a decent bit until I have to replace it, or I don't know. It's going to stay like that probably till I move. So, because I know how I am as a person. So, if you like that, I do plan on working on more projects and just uploading more stuff in my spare time. This is more just a project channel for me, so I'm just going to upload things I'm working on. So look forward for that and have a good one.